Is liberty dying where you live? Escape to Keene at freekeene.com. After the Trespassive 3 of Occupy New Hampshire were found guilty, we wait outside for the chance to interview the obedient jurors. I was around front when I got the call that they were leaving from the back door. As I'm walking up to Daryl and David, I pass a juror and did not record my interaction with her. She was part of the first batch of jurors released, with security guard protection from the court.
Well, that lady I just talked to said, "We're not commenting." I said, "I got $10 for 5 minutes of your time." She said, she just kept walking. I asked her, "Were you instructed not to talk to us?" And she just kept walking. So
yeah, well, seeing all of the bailiff protection that they had, right, it would appear that they were being instructed not to.
Yeah.
Because the two jurors that walked that way had two bailiffs accompanying them.
Cash for a 5-minute interview? I got cash for someone willing to do a 5-minute interview. Someone from the jury? Have y'all been instructed to not talk to us? No? You want some money for 5 minutes?
No, thank you.
No? Curious as to why you found those folks guilty. Did you know they were facing a year in jail for that? Did you consider that these folks might be going to jail?
Yes, we did, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to do an interview? I got some money for you. 5 minutes?
No, almost said thank
no?
you. No?
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure would like to know how it went.
Yeah. Thank you.
$20, 5 minutes, sir?
No, thank you.
Or you can just talk to me for free and tell me why you convicted those folks. Anything you want to share on the record?
It's not against any rule or anything to just talk.
You're welcome to have a chat.
I understand that.
Are you proud of what you did today?
Did you guys instruct the jurors not to speak to media?
Okay.
You guys proud of your jobs? Putting innocent, peaceful people in jail? We are talking with one of the jurors in the case today about what happened. And can you tell us what happened when the jurors went back? First of all, what was everyone laughing at? When y'all walked out after closing statements, it sounded like a lot of laughter coming from...
About lunch.
Okay.
We were promised lobster and there was no lobster.
There wasn't a lobster.
There was no lobster.
Okay. So what happened when you went back to the deliberation room? What was the first vote?
I was divided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you recall the number?
I would say 9-3.
9 against or 9 for guilty?
Against, yes.
Okay. And which one were you?
I was undecided.
Undecided. Okay, so 9-3. I see. So, what what were some of the points that that people were making back there?
Mostly, they knew what they were doing. They knew the staying there meant they were gonna face charges or whatever, and they only stayed in the park when they have options.
But Rosa Parks knew that if she did not move to the other end of the bus.
And
So
we talk about those
how
things.
much discussion of civil disobedience was there?
We did. It was. I think it took us longer because we were discussing that. So it took us a while to convince the three of us that one person was saying not guilty from the beginning. I think the other person did too, and I was undecided. So my reason was that, absolutely, that was what I had in mind the whole time. But we were not here to change a law that is in place. We were here to discuss if they committed a crime or not. So.
Right, but the judge even said if your conscience tells you that the law is wrong, you can still rule not guilty.
Yeah, you're
Was
right.
that clear when he said that?
That was very clear, yes. Yeah.
So you were introduced by both the prosecution and the defense to the idea of jury nullification.
Mm-hmm. We did.
Can you, give me a summary of what your understanding of that was?
That we could. It depends on the law. We could uphold it or not. So I understood that no matter what the law says, I can still say, they have the right to be there, and I do believe they have the right to be there. But I also believe that we need to have rules on our society, and if we don't follow those rules, I was telling the people that were in the jury with me, I come from a country where there are not a lot of rules, and my country's not doing very well. So I choose to follow those rules so we can live on a better country.
Do you believe what the prosecution said, that had you as a jury come back with not guilty verdicts, that people would then move into the parks and turn them into campgrounds?
I don't.
Do you think anybody else on the jury believed that?
Yes, some people very strong about that. So I didn't. I don't think that would change. No, I was not convinced by that. But my convincement was in the fact that they knowingly made that mistake. And I think we were not here to decide of whether your movement is right or wrong. We were here because of a different reason, and I think that was what made the guilty guilty.
Was there any discussion amongst the jury about the Constitution, the right to assemble?
Yes.
Free speech?
Yeah, and when the attorney for them spoke, I was very much with her, but she omitted the other half of the paragraph, and it kind of nailed it for most of the people that were there. I'm like, you have the right, absolutely, we all do. We all want a lot of changes, but we also have to have rules to that, and we need to follow those rules. There are all the ways to do these things. There are all the ways to do it, and you can accomplish a lot of things. You don't have to break the laws.
Would the jury have convicted, would this jury have convicted Gandhi or Martin Luther King for a lot of the nonviolent, peaceful civil disobedience that they committed? Because after all, they were breaking laws.
I said half of them would, yeah.
All right.
I think that's a very sad statement about current society.
Yeah. I trust me, I was very in the middle.
Was it, since you were in the middle and there were two people who were for not guilty right out the gate, was everyone aware that, had you stayed firm, or those folks stayed firm, and maybe if you had, been not guilty, that you could have stayed there, that it wasn't necessary to return a verdict? Was that made clear to you by the court staff?
Yes, it was, yes.
So they felt like, do you feel like they felt pressured into changing their votes at all?
No, absolutely not. No.
So do you feel like they were convinced into changing from not guilty to guilty? Because they could have stayed not guilty and y'all would have come back with a hung jury.
Yes, and somebody stayed there for a while.
Yeah.
And, we make sure that we read what they gave us, and read the charges, and read, all the different information that we had with her, and we gave her time to, to get to her own conclusion on her own, and she did. So
the fact that this was a Friday afternoon and you guys could have just changed your votes real easily, gone home by lunch, and then had basically a 2.5-day weekend didn't play into the change of decisions?
No. This is, I've done three trials in the last 3 weeks. It doesn't matter to me. So they
put you on 3 trials?
Yes.
You had to hear. You sat on a jury for 3 trials.
On 2 and 1, it got dismissed. So didn't have to sit on that one. But
what was the other one?
I'd rather not say.
Okay, no problem. All right. Well, you've been very helpful, and I appreciate it. Let me get you some money here.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
What do they pay you? $15 a day here?
I have no idea, but it's not that much.
What did they give you for lunch? A sub.
No lobster. Are you with who?
Free Press Publications, also with Shire TV.
Okay.
Freekeen.com.
Okay.
So I'll give you my card if you'd like.
Yeah. I was very, very moved by what they did, but I also have we were talking about how they could have done it on the sidewalk, and I didn't look at the sidewalk very well, but some people said it's a big sidewalk. You could have done it. So
Would it have surprised you had the police, if they'd gone to the sidewalk, had the police then threatened them and demanded they
With
leave
loitering.
the sidewalk?
Because
No,
that's
the
what they do
loitering?
if you stay
No,
on the sidewalk, is they threaten you with loitering.
yeah, but I heard that they were very clean and they were organized, and I was.
No, not littering, loitering.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those are facts that I don't know, so I can't comment on those. We don't know what would have happened if they would have done it, so I can't say one way or another one.
Do you feel that, one more question, do you feel that the Constitution, either of New Hampshire or the U.S., can be superseded by city ordinance?
I think there need to be rules with our society, and it's hard to answer that, but it shouldn't. But at the same time, you have all these freedoms that our Constitution give us, but you also have to apply those freedoms the right way. I mean, I don't know. It's hard.
Okay, and I'm sure you noticed that when they mentioned the curfew law, they said that it was passed in 1971.
Yeah,
So before 1971, there was no curfew for that park.
sure.
And before 1971, there were no problems with people having protests past 11 o'clock at night
Probably.
in that park.
Sure.
So why all of a sudden in 1971 does it become a problem for someone to exercise free speech after 11 o'clock at night in a public place?
I don't know what their reasons to pass the law at that time. There might have been some. I'm not aware of
Well, they
any,
gave you guys
so-
the minutes from the meeting
Yeah.
that took place when that
Yeah.
ordinance was passed. So
Yes,
what
they
were the
did.
reasonings
I don't think
listed?
I looked at the minutes on that. I did not. I did hear that it was reviewed recently. So it's. I mean,
We've taken more than we
Yeah.
we asked
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
for your time.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
All right.
Drive safe. What do you think about that, Daryl?
Sad. It's very sad commentary about the state of society.
We need
that
rules, Daryl. We need rules.
People believe that if you allow individuals to protest after 11 o'clock at night, then that's akin to saying that rape and murder are okay because we need rules for a civilized society. And it's utterly ridiculous because rape and murder have victims. Staying in a public place after an arbitrary time harms no one.
Except the peace and dignity of the state.
The state has no peace or dignity.
Yeah. We're here with Barbara Keshen from
I
the
was going to
ACLU.
see it from you anyway.
So we're here with Barbara, the head attorney for the ACLU of New Hampshire, and we just came back from the verdicts, which were 3 guilties. Pretty disappointing for me. What about you? What do you think?
I'm really disappointed, and you know, one of the things that Kara and I said is that are we so far out of the mainstream that we don't even, you know, like where is the mainstream that a park ordinance is elevated over the First Amendment? I don't get it. I'm very disappointed. I really expect more from the people in the country, and I feel disappointed that they have so little regard for their important rights.
No, I feel the same way. I mean, having been involved in a number of cases that had some similar aspects of civil disobedience, I felt this was the easiest case to decide for a jury. I mean, I was arrested for criminal trespass at a jail when we were protesting outside of a jail. And there they could make the argument that it's a secure facility and all that. I think it's the same basic premise, but at least I could sort of understand where the jury went with that one. In this case, I mean, it seems like a crystal clear free speech situation.
I wish you'd been on the jury.
Right.
I agree with you.
Any chance of appeal, or are you just going to call it
No,
a
we
day?
won't appeal this because In district court, these folks were found guilty of the curfew violation, so we can raise all the kind of First Amendment free speech claims to the Supreme Court through that appeal.
So the citation, the people that got the citation, that is being appealed to the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
Got it. Well, best of luck with that one. Hopefully
Thanks
that pans
very
out
much.
better.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, Barbara.
Take care.
Have a great day.
We'd like to invite you to visit freekeen.com. Freekeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeen.com.
I should be in Keene, New Hampshire with the Free Staters.